Okay. Okay, welcome to our city council meeting this evening. We apologize for getting started a little bit late. Our last meeting kind of ran over. We're thrilled to have everybody here. Nobody comes to our meetings if we don't do this stuff, so we're grateful to have you all here tonight. We're going to start tonight with a Pledge of Allegiance by Adeline Hill.
Ready? Begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may be seated.
Thank you, Adeline. She even got the soccer theme going on tonight. Did you know we were talking about soccer tonight, Adeline? Because I like it. Okay. We're going to start with some city council comments and recognitions at this time.
Okay, first off, we are going to start with the Salt Lake County program, Meals on Wheels. It's a great program that really helps people in our community that are homebound and not able to really get out and about, and it's a service that brings meals to them. And we have a really great member of our community. Her name's Wendy Hill, and she's helpful in this, and she really helps run this program, and she's going to come up tonight and just talk to us about it. So Wendy, you're on.
Okay, so we have most of our volunteers. We're missing a couple, but we volunteer on taking meals to seniors in Herriman City, and we started it back in July of 2020, so almost 4 years. We have a couple of original drivers. We've got Lindsay Fox and her mom, Linda Levitt, and another friend, Jeanette, that's not here. And then we have a lot of drivers come and go, and we've got Joy Newsom. I haven't met you in person, so I'm excited. And Shelly, you all know. She just joined our route this month. We're happy to have her. And this is Jackie and Jack Anderson, and they've both deliver with us, so we're grateful for their help. We have 8 current drivers on our route, but it's been great. I always I text them over and over that many hands make light work, and it's been great to get in our community, get to know most of these seniors are homebound. A lot of them we're the only people they see the whole day. We've been able to build relationships with some of them. We've moved a couple of them. That's been an adventure. We've been to a funeral of one of them, so it's been a really good opportunity, but I don't know if that's any questions. I don't know what else to say.
I guess about how many residents in our community do you guys serve?
We generally serve from about 8 to 12 residents each, and we do meals, a hot lunch, Monday through Friday. It's always hot, nutritious, fully balanced lunch from the aging services in Salt Lake County. So even if they don't get much food or don't eat well the rest of the day, they have one wholesome meal each day. And I know it's such a service to their families that, we've met the kids of some of these seniors, and making sure that they get adequate nutrition. We've also, it was interesting, I started delivering with Riverton route back in COVID. When COVID hit, they needed more drivers. And I kept saying, oh, well, I want to do a Herriman route. I want to deliver closer to home. And they said, we actually don't have a Herriman route. I'm like, well, there's a lot of people there. So she said, do you want to start one? I said, sure. So I put it on Facebook and had 7 friends within a day volunteer. And we were going to have to pick up the meal bags in Riverton Senior Center, and I thought that's going to be too hard for these. Most of us work, we've got things going. So my son Alexander knew Wendy Thomas and said, I bet she'd probably let you do it at City Hall. So she was a great connection. You'd worked with aging services before, so she was all on board. So it's been great for Herriman City to work with us, and good thing to do. I don't know what else.
Will you share with us if somebody knows someone that's in this type of situation and really could use this service, how would they make the connection to the person that needs the service and the drivers?
That's a great question. We've actually had some friends in similar circumstances. They go through Salt Lake County Aging Services, and they can just Google it. The family member will speak with a caseworker, and the caseworker will assess the needs of the person that they want to receive Meals on Wheels, and they actually will meet with them, whether it's on FaceTime or Zoom or in person. And then we're on the volunteer coordinator side. Our volunteer coordinator is Shauna Brock, and she will just, let us know who we're delivering to. And we've had the clientele, I don't think we have any original seniors on our route. I mean, they've all changed a lot. So sometimes we'll deliver a meal once a week to someone whose family isn't there during the day to, care for them that one day. Other times we'll deliver every day. But yeah, they just kind of tell us who we deliver to. But Aging Services is a great place to start. And our taxes pay for this. It's a great service. The families are asked to, if they wanted to make a volunteer contribution to the Meals on Wheels program, they can, but it's not mandatory. So it's a great program. Anyone can get assistance that needs it.
Yeah, I just love the program because people that want to obviously take care of their family, but their work, and so they can't do it, and it just alleviates part of that stress of making sure that your loved one is being fed and has a nutritious meal. And it doesn't work without great people like you guys that will volunteer to help make it work. So thank you for all your service.
You're welcome.
Okay, we're going to get a picture. Get a good picture.
Yeah, let's give him a round of applause, too, if we could.
All right, 1, 2, 3.
Okay, I'm going to take this next one tonight. One of my weaknesses is I get emotional, and so forgive me right now. Is Emmy here? Did Emmy make it tonight, Emmy White? Did she make it? Emmy, so I've known Mark, so I work for, you guys probably all know UISA I work for. At least I used to. I just left UISA after about 6 years there. So I come from the soccer community. Yeah, Amy, come up. So I've known Coach Osborne for a while through that organization there. And he reached out to me this year, first year coaching, correct? This is first year there coaching at Mountain Ridge as head coach, right? And there was a tournament going on, a 3-on-3 soccer tournament happening in our community in Herriman. And long story short, it ended up being my son's tournament, but I don't think all the dots were connected at the beginning. But we hold it every year. My son, my ex-wife lost a little boy to leukemia a while back, and so my son started as an Eagle project, started a 3-on-3 soccer tournament to raise money that they now donate every year to another family that is struggling, that has a child going through cancer treatments. Well, Mark reached out and asked that he wanted his girls involved in the community, the team involved in the community. And Emmy had brought up the idea. Emmy, is it a family friend or is it a family member that's dealing with cancer as well?
My sister. Well, she's done now.
But she had been through treatment, so you
Yes.
knew. So Emmy brought the idea to Mark to get involved in this tournament. And so, long story short, they reached out to they had their crosstown rival game coming up. So they reached out to the coach at Herriman and decided to, and you can correct me if I miss any of this, Mark, but decided to make something good come out of a crosstown rivalry game. And so they decided to start raising money. And I saw the post flying. I saw the post. I was following the Instagram post. It was back and forth, both teams in the friendly, battle to see who could raise more money. And so I was invited out there that day along with my ex-wife and my son who was doing the tournament. And we were blown away by that. So we get up there, and there's all the girls, all the young ladies here were holding a picture of somebody who has been affected by cancer. And that was profound. That was truly impactful. But these girls, between the two teams, raised, and to put it in perspective, the most we had ever raised through this tournament for my son, the most we had ever raised to give to a family was $6,000. And that's through everything. That was through entry fees. That was through the auctions that night. But just these two teams raised just shy of $10,000 that went to this cancer family so they could pay for treatments. Because, Emmy, as your family knows, treatments are expensive. It's not just the treatments, it's the extra meals out, it's the gas to primary children's or for the treatment. So there's a lot of expenses. So we just wanted to recognize all you young ladies for being involved in that this year. You went above and beyond what you did. I don't think you'll ever understand the impact you had on this family. That impact will be felt for years to come. So that's really why we wanted to highlight some other stuff that you've done this year, but really I wanted to focus on that because you came together as two rival teams and put that aside, and you did something amazing for this community. And I will say that next year the plan is even to add Riverton into the mix even for this exact same cause next year. So this is going to be something that continues every year. And Emmy, it started with you with an idea to your coach to make a difference with this, so thank you. And thank you all, ladies, for what you did to help raise money for this family. So I just want to give you a round of applause for that. So. Thank you. Anything you want to say?
I didn't think that I had to say anything.
You don't have to if you don't want.
September is Childhood Cancer Awareness Month, so I was kind of looking at stuff to do when I brought it up to Mark, and he just helped a lot with it. He kind of got it going. Just because I didn't have any contacts, I just told Mark, I said, this is what I want to do. I think we could do it as a team. I was kind of thinking I don't even know. I didn't even think to bring any other school into it or anybody else, but it ended up being a really good idea and helping a lot. So I was grateful for Mark.
I love it. Well done. Thank you, Emmy. Thank you. Okay, while we're doing that, I want to start with Riverton. Girls, can you all come up? Anybody on the Riverton team? Or Herriman, sorry. My gosh. That just cost me re-election right there. So, sorry. Oh my gosh. That was the last school we said. Okay. Herriman, hi. Can we have you all, ladies, can you come up here? And I know Ryan's not here. Montana's here. So I've got a little thing that Coach Ryan put together. You can just stand right there for now. We'll get your picture in a minute. Sorry. I just want to read something, and then we're going to let Montana talk for a minute. Yeah. So let me read what Ryan kind of put out there. I think this is, and he emphasized right out of the bat, this region is the toughest region in the state. I don't care what anybody says. We play in the toughest region. This corner of the valley has got the premier athletes coming out of here right now and across all sports. But this is what Ryan said. The 2023 new region alignment did not disappoint. We were a young team and every game was a hard-fought battle with many learning opportunities. These battles consisted of a Herriman single-season record 5 overtime games, which eventually led to a first-round playoff win over Fremont High School. This then led to a second-round playoff matchup with the number 1 ranked Davis. We fought hard and unfortunately came up short in a 3-1 loss where the girls left everything on the field. I was proud of how the girls carried themselves and kept fighting in every game we played this year, right up until the last second of the Davis game. This season, midfielder Kari Pate, I've heard your name before actually at the state level, so Kari Pate led the team in goals, 2 of which were in a playoff game, and was always a threat taking corner kicks. Looking to link up with Naomi Thorson, who was always a threat, and her sister Gracie. On the other end of the field, Gracie and freshman Tay Hansen were a strong center back duo, leading a strong defense which only allowed 1 goal off of corner kicks the entire season. Also deserving of recognition is Peyton Smith, who after being injured part of the season scored 2 goals in her first game back versus Bingham, which led to a victory. Also creating and assisting numerous goals throughout the season. All the players named here earned all-region team recognition as well. I cannot forget to mention the rest of the girls on the team who day in and day out put in the hard work both off and on the field to make Herriman High and the Herriman community proud. That was from Coach Ryan. So, congratulations. Montana, anything you want to add, Coach?
Yeah, I would love to just say, the girls already know I'm not an eloquent speaker, but they never cease to amaze me. Super proud of them, super proud of Mountain Ridge too for just coming together. And it is so impressive what they've been able to do. I hope that their love for the community is something that carries on to the future girls that come on, and that it's also something that they just carry into their daily lives, that it's something that they can carry into just anything. Me personally, I've lost my mother-in-law recently, November, to lung cancer. So it means a lot what they're able to do together. It means community's everything. So if anything that they take away from high school or from soccer in itself, it should be to just love others and do the next right thing. So, yeah.
Best of them, or do you want to do them? I'd like to do them all together. Can we do it all together? Kind of. Okay, we'll have you sit down for now, girl, and then we'll pull. I want to do it with everybody together. Is that okay? Is that okay? Yeah. I don't know. Okay, I'm going to say this, or I'm going to slow down. We'll have Mountain Ridge come up now.
We'll have Mount Riverton.
Yeah, seriously. Mr. Soccer. Okay, so I'm pulling up marks here. So I'm just going to read a few names. We talked about the all-region girls there, so a few things from Mountain Ridge, and then I'm going to have Coach Osborne talk for a minute. So academic all-state, Chesney Bitten, Hadley Leonard.
Wait, raise your hand as you read
Yeah.
your name so I know who you are.
Chesney's not here.
Chesney?
Hadley is.
No, Chesney?
She's hiding.
She's hiding. Hadley Leonard. Great work. All-state first team, Kaya Newton. Am I saying it right?
Yeah, she's not here.
Okay. All-state second team, Jocelyn Wright.
Not here.
Not here. All-state honorable mention, Hadley Leonard and Kelsey Peterson. Hadley again. Okay. All-region MVP was Kaya Newton. All-region defensive player of the year, Hadley Leonard. All-region offensive player of the year, Jocelyn Wright. All-region first team, Kaya Newton, Hadley Leonard, Kylin Lund, Kelsey Peterson, and Jocelyn Wright. And then all-region second team, Dylan Anderson. Okay. I love it. Natalie Schober. Ellie, I know I'm going to butcher, Ellie Rafeko. That's what I would have guessed. So Ellie Rafeko.
Not here.
Okay, Chesney Bitten, Peyton Bullard,
Peyton's here.
Jayla McFarland,
Taylor's here.
and an all-region honorable mention to Micah Peck.
Not here.
Okay. And then they do have 4 committed to college to play collegiate level. Krista Hook, Ellie, she's going to Centralia College up in Washington. Ellie Rafeko is going to Slick.
Yep.
Hadley Leonard to Snow College. And Kylin Lund to the University of Indiana Kokomo. That's impressive. Okay, Mark, do you want to say a few words? I think that's...
You forgot the JV.
Oh, and then JV. Yes, he sent me the JV. JV went... Tell me, just read it again.
JV went undefeated this season and only allowed 3 goals the entire season. So
a big
I
deal.
wanted to recognize that as well. So
Fantastic.
yeah, I want to thank Herriman. They were amazing. Ryan was all on board. The girls were on board. So it really became a fun competition, not only amongst the players and the coaches, but parents were getting involved. I had so many parents get excited about this that it was something that they felt like they were happy their girls were part of and doing. So I just couldn't thank Herriman enough for being willing and wanting to participate in it as well. It would not have been as successful if they didn't jump in and do it. So it was a fun event. Realistically, it didn't matter who won the competition because the family is the one that won the competition, and the growth and what we gained from it in our personal lives to do something good for others is way more important than the final results. But it was just amazing. I just couldn't have asked for a better situation, and Lauren has been amazing to. I reach out to him, he follows up, he answers, and then gets us help. We also did a community service thing this year that Lauren helped us achieve at one of the parks. And so, it's more to get these girls to understand that we love the game of soccer, we love what it gives to us, but there's bigger things in life than that, and how we can be involved in our communities and do good things is really the important thing at the end of the day.
Love it. Thank you, Mark. Let's give a big hand for all these young ladies. Okay, let's do a big picture. Yeah, we're gonna do a big picture with both teams. If both teams, we're gonna cram in here. We're gonna make this.
Probably 2 or 3 rows. Can we do 3 rows? Is that too much to ask? Like 3 deep? Yeah, just like that. Awesome.
Yeah, you guys need to get in a little bit. One, two, three. I'll get out of the way.
Everybody get pictures?
Okay, cute.
Thank you for coming. Yes, you are welcome.
You can stay or go.
Yes. Thank you, ladies. We appreciate it. I'm even getting texts from Oregon about saying Riverton. So Nathan is tuning in now. Oh my gosh. I don't know where that even came from. Okay, we'll give him just a minute because I just said Riverton talking about the, oh boy. I know. Like we said, now everybody's gone. Now there's nobody here. Great, well, thank you for being patient with us through that. We love highlighting the youth in our community, and we've tried to make a point of that as a council. We love all the good work that goes on. So we'll move on to any other comments or recognition before I... Chief, you have something? I'll see you after.
Principal's office.
Okay, that being said, we'll move on to public comment. Audience members may bring any item to the city council's attention. Comments will be limited to 2 minutes. State law prohibits the council from acting on items that do not appear on the agenda. Public comments for this meeting will also be conducted electronically. Any person interested in addressing the council may submit a comment by emailing recorder@herriman.org or by visiting herriman.org/agendas and minutes, where there is a link to fill out an online public comment form. And your statement will be incorporated into the public record. So tonight, I do have one comment form so far, so we'll start with Johnny. Oh.
Thanks for letting me be here. My name is Johnny Bobo. That was a fun meeting. Thanks. 10 years ago, just right now, my wife Diana and I moved to 7300 West in Maine out there. And so for the last 10 years, we've been looking forward to the new road. And this past year, the road got done out there near us. And so I'm here tonight simply to say thank you.
We appreciate it, Johnny. And 7300 is next, so.
Well, you can repaint that one a dozen times. It's already been done so many times. That's great.
But truly appreciate that, Johnny.
And so thank you for that. I wanted to be really specific and on the record about one thing, though, that's real important and why I'm here. I'm grateful for the new road. That's great. And it's a good one. But in specific, I made a call along the way and asked if it'd be possible to have a driveway cut in to the north side of my lot, right there, where I have a gate to my fence, and was promised that would take place. And so I'm here to say thank you to 4 people specifically who took my call and listened and cared and promised and delivered. And so, on the record, I just wanted to say thanks to Nadia Baker, who took my first call, to Bryce Terry, who concurred with Nadia that that was a good thing, and to Emily Gentry. Wow, she's a gem, and who listened very thoughtfully and gave me the name of the project manager that I could talk to, who was out there at the time, whose name was Tom Hibden. And those 4 people right there all came through and put that thing in for me. And so on the record, I just simply want to say thanks for the road, and 2, thanks for your staff, your people that do good and make me proud. I live here in Herriman and moved here 10 years ago. So thanks a lot. That's it.
Appreciate that. Thank you. That's nice. Johnny, thank you for those comments. Our staff, they don't hear that kind of stuff enough, so thank you we appreciate you taking time out of your night to come and let us know that stuff, so we appreciate that.
Yeah, it's a rarity that we get those kind of follow-ups, so thank you so much for sharing that.
Thankful you would put that on the record. Thank you.
You bet. Culture coins for those that we can? Okay, perfect. Okay, thank you, Johnny. Any other public comment at this time? Oh, another one. Thanks, Johnny. Okay, see no other public comment tonight. We'll move on to city council reports. Is Jared with us? Jared, anything for you?
Nope, nothing this time.
Okay, Teddy?
A couple things. Again, like Johnny stated, I think that having meetings like that packed full of youth and just citizens in the community is pretty awesome. Especially the Meals on the Wheels program, and then our schools. We have amazing youth and seniors in this community for sure. Us middle-aged people, not so sure about, but we had a couple meetings this week. Sewer board was yesterday morning, where I was elected to be chair of that meeting, so I'm now chair of the South Valley Sewer District, which is a fun meeting. We did talk about some high-level projects coming not only to the district, but also in our area. A lot of new growth still happening with some South Valley, some South Hills projects, Wasatch development there, and then the new interchanges of 2700 West on Bangerter and 134th. Those are all moving quite swiftly and along, and also a big project on 118th with a massive addition for growth out west. So look forward to a lot of construction on those areas in the near future that are currently going on. And then some interchanges and getting underneath Mountain View corridor. We also went to the State of the County. I was there last night at the State of County address from Mayor Jenny Wilson, and it was very short, quick meeting. She had a great speech, but it was very informative of what the county's doing in the direction. Lots of projects and items in our South Valley area, the addition to the new parks and trails out west in Butterfield Canyon. There's some more talk about more items coming out west and south, so stay tuned for that. I know that it'll be exciting for us, so that's all I have, Mayor.
Perfect, thank you. Sherry?
Just real quick, we met with Wasatch Front Waste and Recycling District on Monday. Basically, more budget type things, just end of year, making sure we are in budget. Our maintenance costs have gone through the roof, as I assume a lot of people's have, partially due to the lack of ability to get garbage trucks. We haven't had a new garbage truck for 2.5 years. So it's difficult because of the supply chain and things like that. So we've had to, our maintenance costs have gone up, but we're still able to stay in budget and moving along. So the garbage industry is doing fine. And then Youth Council, we had the great opportunity today to take our Youth Council, many of them up to the legislature today, and they were able to sit in a session for a little while in the gallery and observe, that process. And then Representative Perucci and Representative Cobb, were both there to meet with us, and just a big thank you to them for spending their time with our youth and really kind of answering questions and just walking through some of their experiences, helping our youth understand, even future things like internships and things like that, opportunities that they have at their disposal to help them be continued leaders in their communities and in their lives, so that we can continue to grow kids that are informed and educated and involved. Is such a critical thing that our youth and our young people participate and not just vote, which is super important, but they also vote knowledgeable, that they understand how to navigate murky waters of politics and move forward in that. And then we also had a great opportunity after. We always take them to lunch after, and we were able to go to Mountain Mike's Pizza, and just a big shout out to a great new business in our community. They were super accommodating. The food was great, and I would just give them a big thank you to they're out by Lee's Marketplace, kind of out by the Zebra facility. So if you don't know that they're there, I'll give a big plug for them to head out that way and just patronize one of our really great businesses here in our community.
It was good, too.
Yeah, it was fun.
Okay, on my side, it's the season of, our first COG meeting always involves fighting for these new committees. So I was nominated, I will be serving as vice chair for COM this year, which means I'll be the chair next year of COM, just in time for my 4 years to be up. And then I stayed on Regional Growth Committee, TRCC, and the Corridor Preservation Committee. And then I was able to get on Transcom this year, which is a big deal, to get on the Central Transportation Committee. So there's only 2 members of COG on that, and so pretty fortunate to be on there. Mayor Hall and Mayor Burton were both put on the UTA Advisory Council, so we've got 2 representatives kind of fighting for this corner of the valley right now, too, on the UTA board, so that will really help as well. So good things happening right now in this corner of the valley. So.
Can I digress? And
yes,
add one
of
more?
course.
I would also add, it's not necessarily my committee. However, I am on the LPC for the League Legislative Policy Committee, and I would there's very few people in here tonight, but I hope that those people who are listening and will listen to this council meeting will really take an active role in watching what's happening at our legislature. We sometimes really focus on what's happening on a national level. It gets in front of us all the time, and that's stuff, and I'm not suggesting that that's not important. However, things that are happening right here in our own state are really important. A lot of times we get a lot of feedback here of upset residents, people upset because the roads are too congested, or the infrastructure is poor, or why isn't this road paved, those types of things. And a lot of pushback on density in our area. How come you're building more houses? Every time I turn around, you're building more houses, and those types of things. And I think, not intending to pass the buck, but I think it's really important for you to understand the handcuffs and the constraints that are put on us as a local government of things that we have to allow. Some of this density is being dictated, and it has been for the last several years, but it continues to be. I know there is some proposed legislation this year that would make a blanket 8 units to the acre, and we wouldn't have any say in that. So as a local authority, it's really hard for us to plan for infrastructure. How do we pay for all that? How do we make sure our roads aren't failing, not just in asphalt, but in people being stuck in traffic for too long? Those types of things, those are planned for by us through long-range planning and through transportation plans and things like that. And when these mandates come down, it really puts a huge ripple in those things and makes it super difficult for us to plan. But we're only so loud. And I would just really encourage you as a public to please understand that those are the types of things that are being discussed. And it's because they're trying to figure out how to make housing more affordable. But it's such a complex component that I'm not sure that the government's going to fix the housing market affordability. And so please really know who your legislatures are at the Capitol, and reach out to them and help them understand the nuances, that just the problems that you experience every day just trying to get to work, or the cost of things for you to travel, and the backup on roads and infrastructure issues. So I just really want to pound that home to please reach out to legislatures and help them allow local officials to make land use decisions, because we're the ones that have to mitigate the complexities of it.
Thank you, Sherry. Okay. We will move on to our consent agenda. If somebody wants to read that motion. So make sure we get that right.
I'll make a motion to approve item 8.1, 8.2, and 8.4 on the consent agenda and deny item 8.3.
I'll second.
Motion by Sherry, second by Teddy. Sherry?
Yes.
Teddy?
Yes.
Jared?
Yes.
And I'll vote yes. That motion carries. Okay, we'll move on to item 9.1, discussion and consideration of amendments to Herriman City's Title 10 Land Development Code to comply with updated subdivision review and public notice procedures required in the 2023 Utah State Municipal Land Use Development and Management Act. Michael.
Thank you. I believe we've mentioned this project to you in the work meeting previously. I just want to express my appreciation for Todd Sheeran, our city attorney. Through his networking, his participation in coordinating various legislative matters, he made the city aware of some funding that was being provided by the state, where the state is mandating that cities amend our subdivision review process. They actually provided some funding for that. And so through Todd's connections, he introduced us to Smith Hartfordson in Salt Lake City, and Lisa Baskin is here tonight from that firm to just give you a quick overview of the scope of the amendment and answer any of your questions.
Perfect, thank you. Welcome, Lisa. Thank you for being here, Lisa.
Thank you. Good evening, Mayor and council members. It's a pleasure to be here. I wanted to give a little bit of a background, but I first wanted to compliment Todd Sheeran on such a good lawyer. I wanted to bring that up.
a one? That's a one?
You can split it with Michael.
Anyway.
I love it. That's the first time he's heard that in a public meeting, so he needed to hear that. So.
I can imagine. Okay, so my name's Lisa Baskin, and I'm a council at Smith Hartfixon. And point of personal privilege, I'm also on my own city council in North Salt Lake, in my third term of all things, and did serve 2 terms on the Planning Commission. So I bring a little bit of experience to this process.
And you have to deal with Ted. You have
Ted
to deal
Knowlton
with Ted
is
Knowlton.
great
Yeah,
to deal
yeah.
with. He's fine. But anyway, I'm working under a contract with the Direct Legal and Planning Assistant Coalition Pool, or Assistant Consultant Pool, and it's a technical support team that's supplied assistance to all the cities. And it was put together by the legislature in 2023. It was put together through DWS, Department of Workforce Services, but the state got $3.3 million. And of that money, people put in RFPs seeking to be under contract to help cities, which is what we did. State will pay us directly. You don't have to do any of the billing. It's seamless for you folks. Jay Springer, who is my colleague, was working on this, has a conflict tonight, so I'm here filling in with him. Although I've worked closely with Mike in the last week, going through the process of this legislative change that is required of your city. So I'm going to quickly just talk about Senate Bill 174. That bill is the local land use and development revisions. It was in 2023 last session. Senator Lincoln Fillmore was the sponsor of that bill. And basically, it requires all the cities to enact a new process for land use subdivision plat applications. And the idea is that the process should be streamlined so that the approval is less unwieldy for people. So the purpose of this was twofold. It was to reduce the delays, perceived delays maybe, and actual delays in the time for preliminary and plat applications to be approved. And also to prevent confusion for those in elected offices about the process. Because you know, as a city council, by the time it gets to you, it's administrative. And you get a lot of people who come and want to comment, which we welcome. Those comments are helpful. But at the same time, it puts you in a dilemma because you can't really do much at that point. All the boxes have been checked. And so it places you in this dilemma. During the session, the Utah Municipal Attorneys Association and the Utah League of Cities and Towns saw this dilemma as well and tried to avoid it. So the ordinance for you folks has to be adopted by February 1, 2024. For the smaller cities, it has to be done by December 31st, 2024. But my purpose for being here today is to help you understand what you're adopting and get it adopted tonight so you can move on with the rest of your legislative lives. So Senate Bill 174 did, I'm just going to say a dozen things. I'm just going to keep it really quick. The first was it applied a new procedure to only certain subdivisions in that bill, and it was 1 family residences, 2 family residences, and townhomes. But if the cities want to have it applied to other land use subdivisions, they could do so. All right. It completely eliminates your city council authority with regard to approving subdivision applications. And that, it can't be overstated, that's a pretty big deal. And but it doesn't take away your legislative authority in some ways, because you can still adopt and amend your general plan. You still address all your zoning map adoptions and zoning text adoptions amendments and your development agreements. So there's still some legislative authority that you have with regard to land use. Of course, all your ordinances are in your hands. So setting those standards still remain with you. What it does, though, is it makes the process completely administrative, all right? And so what happens is the city is going to review and approve, according to the code, or deny a final subdivision plat application, and it may not require a planning commission or a city council to approve it. You've done it differently in Herriman. You're not going to have it be completely administrative and handled by staff and the departments, but it could be done that way. So the Senate Bill 174 also provided a pre-application meeting, which is optional. It did away with the concept plans, but you can meet with your staff, city staff, as an applicant for a pre-application meeting if it's requested in writing. And that application is submitted to the planning department and facilitated through that process. Herriman's decided they're going to do a 15-day response time to schedule a meeting. So getting right on it. Then the preliminary plat applications are going to be first reviewed by what's called the Administrative Land Use Authority. I call it the ALUA. And in Herriman, it's going to be your Planning Commission. That Planning Commission can make the final approval of the preliminary plat application, all right? But in order to do that, you've got your community development director who will gather all the data, work with all the department heads, work with all the collaborators that need to come up and review the preliminary subdivision plan. But before that can be done, the community development director says, okay, it's complete. Once it's complete, the clock starts to tick. And that is where this is this fast-paced, streamlined process. Once that is declared as a complete preliminary application, all the comments that the development director receives then go to the Planning Commission. So there is that interaction and discussion. The bill also said that the Planning Commission can ask for additional information if they need it. And it eliminates the Planning Commission altogether from any final plat approval. Obviously, all along, Planning Commission's only making recommendations historically, but there's no way that will happen for final plat. This designated administrative land use authority is to take responsibility early on and move the process along. Now, you as a city are not a bad actor, and your ordinances are extraordinarily good. Having seen several cities that I've looked at, they're very clear, they're well-written, so it wasn't as such a difficult task to add this language to your code. But the bad actors out there have caused delays, and because we have kind of a developer-heavy state legislature, they kind of called the shots on this one and said, we're not going to put up with that anymore. We're going to have it be a fast-track process, if possible. So it caps the number of review cycles that are required in the ordinance, in the statute, to 4. And basically what it is, those cycles are this. The applicant submits the application, which is complete, the complete subdivision application. The city reviews it, the city responds, and then the applicant replies. And it's that cycle that you will go through. As I said, that the definition of what is complete triggers the time clock. Now, what's interesting here is that this Senate Bill 174 only applied, as I said, to two-family homes and townhomes. And there is the idea that if you wanted to go beyond that, you could. My understanding and my analysis looks as though you're already doing this sort of thing with all of your land use subdivisions. The process has been efficient and you're moving forward. Another thing that the bill did was create a new appeals process, and that language in the state statute is quite poor to understand, quite poorly written. And that can happen when you've got substitute bills in the heart of, in the heat of the session and so forth. So we've put the appeals language in the ordinance as it mirrors state code. But as with all of this, I really think it's a pilot program. I think that the legislature and even the cities are going to be working hand in hand to see if this will work and if it can expedite the process and do so in a way that's fair. So if you don't have, I could go through the provisions if you'd like, or if you've got questions, I can answer questions.
Any questions at this point?
It sounds like, Mike can also attest to this, it seems like we're doing 99% of this. We had just some language in the code that got cleaned up. We were already probably actually doing these processes originally before this mandate.
One of the I think benefits that we will receive from this is that the amendment more clearly elaborates what constitutes a review and it gives direction to the city as well as to the development interest. So that, I think, will be a helpful tool. We also, as Lisa mentioned, it's quite possible we may see further refinements in this current legislative session. This group will also, under the state grant, be providing some staff training. Jay, the attorney who is not here tonight, has consulted with both cities and development interests, and so he's been very fair at understanding what the issues are. And I think I'm looking forward to his maybe some training with our staff and our planning commission as well. But yeah, this is just really kind of codifying almost really existing practices, but then also giving it more clarity in the actual code.
Part of the contract also allows for cleanup. What you've got in front of you tonight are the basics that you will need to comply with state code, but there may be related ordinances, sections within the Herriman Code that need to be, you know, made coherent and consistent. And we will do that, we can do that after February 1 as part of the process.
Okay.
No, I'm speaking into the air a little bit now, but I guess you made a comment about that it really is going to require the two different entities to work together, and the state and the cities to try and work through this and see if it's really accomplishing what it's meant to accomplish. And so I would just implore the state legislatures, before they continue to make a bunch more changes, to let us see if this has an effect. Let us see if this really works. But it takes time. It's not going to happen by the next legislative session. So I would just beat the same drum that let us make sure that these changes have the desired effect and give them enough time to implement them long enough to understand if they do. That's not necessary for you, but for
No, you want that on the record.
Yeah.
I think it's excellent, yeah. And I do think that the cities themselves, you don't necessarily have to work through the league, Utah League of Cities and Towns. If you feel strongly about a piece of legislation, you can go up as long as your city colleagues agree to that. And also, I think that that's going to help as well, because there's paid lobbyists and then there's elected officials who can go up and influence policy.
Yeah. Thank you.
So one suggestion that I've got is if you make the motion to approve this provision and the resolution, know that there will be some non-substantive changes, right? Some technical changes, and maybe even some changes that are a little bit more substantive, but that you know that they need to be made. Because we've addressed everything that we need to address to comply with Senate Bill 174 and put you in compliance with the state code. But there might be some more that we haven't caught. And so if you would, you know, approve it with that understanding, I think it would serve you well.
Okay, perfect. Okay, are we ready for a motion at that point then? Okay, I'll look for a motion then.
Make a motion to approve ordinance number 2024-02, amending Title 10 of the Herriman City Land Development Code to comply with the updated subdivision review and public notice requirements in the 2023 Utah State Municipal Land Use Development and Management Act.
We need to add the caveat that she just mentioned. We're good on that? Okay. A second.
Okay, motion by Teddy, second by Sherry. Teddy?
Yes.
Sherry?
Yes.
Jared?
Yes.
And I'll vote yes, that motion carries. Thank you, Lisa.
Thank you
We appreciate
very
you being
much.
down here
Thank
with
you.
us tonight.
Thanks for your service
Yes,
with
thank
your
you.
city also.
Okay, that brings us to the conclusion of our meeting tonight, as item 9.2 has been removed. Future meetings, we have canceled the joint city council planning commission meeting for next Wednesday. The next planning commission meeting will then be on February 7th at 7 o'clock, and the next city council meeting on February 14th at 7 o'clock.
Our spouses are all going to come, right?
Their spouses will be here that night.
Nice.
We'll have a candlelight
Valentine's
dinner
Day.
in the council chambers following.
The other
Jimmy
event-
John's or pizza, or the heart-shaped pizzas, yeah.
Yep. Upcoming events, this Friday, our youth council is hosting a Cultures Around Herriman event that is here at City Hall from 5 to 7:30. They put a lot of work into that, and I'm excited. So everybody's invited, so please help spread the word. I think that's going to be a fun night.
It's an open house, so just come and work your way through.
Love it. Senior bingo on February 8th at 10 o'clock a.m. here at City Hall. I think that's it. Anything else? Some upcoming art stuff, but not till March, so we'll hit those as Tabitha hit me up about those this week. So,
You want to mention anything about the Governor's Office of Immigration and Integration event on February 3rd?
and there'll be more information on this, but next Saturday, the Governor's Office is helping host, we're hosting it here at City Hall, but the Governor's Office is putting on it's an employment pathway resource, fair, I guess you could say. There is going to be some pre-registration required. We're trying to get that information out right now. That's mainly for our Latino community to get to start their process to get job, whether it be work permits and that sort of stuff. So that'll be here. So look for some information. We'll try to push that out through our social media shortly. I think they're trying to finish the flyer by Friday. We've got a last planning meeting on Friday online with that. So, but that is next Friday or next Saturday, the 3rd, all day. It'll be 9 to 3, I think. So
There is one other event, Royalty, Herriman Royalty. Ms. Herriman,
Oh, yeah,
Daddy-Daughter
Daddy-Daughter
Dance
Dance.
is coming up that 13th, I believe.
Tuesday, is it?
Or, hold on, it's in
Tuesday's
my wife's calendar, it's in my calendar. On the 10th at, it's in my calendar at 7, but I don't believe that's correct.
Miss Herriman here, I'll find it right here. Daddy-Daughter, I'm glad you brought this up. 6:30 p.m., 6:30 check-in, 7 o'clock the dance starts. $20 per couple, $5 per extra girl. That's a fundraiser for our Miss Herriman. So come out and support that
It's super fun.
on the 10th. I always wish I had a daughter for these. Really cool.
I think you can rent one.
I have a couple
You see? There you go.
spare, yeah.
There you go.
It's just got awkward. So, not more awkward than when I said Riverton earlier. Okay, at this point, we'll look for a motion to go back to work.
So moved.
Second.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, everybody.
Go back to work.
Go back to work meeting.